Governor, and just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status, temporary protected status.
Well, Margaret, but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important because
we're going to turn out of the economy. Thank
Margaret,
you.
the rules were that you guys weren't going to fact check, and since you're
guys, we'll get back to that exchange in just a second. I mean, we knew this would be coming, right? That either Tim Walz or the moderators will push back on this whole nasty lie that's getting pretty dangerous. We knew he would get pushed back on this. For him to be so caught off guard is hilarious to me. It just shows you how terrible of a politician he is. But before we get to that, I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe. It would really help the channel. But yeah, let's get back to it. I want to start off with Tim Walz response to all this stuff going on, and then we'll get to JD Vance, which of course is why we're all here. Let's get to that.
The people that I'm most worried about in Springfield, Ohio, are the American citizens who have had their lives destroyed by Kamala Harris's open border.
We could come together and solve this if we didn't let Donald Trump continue to make it an issue. And the consequences in Springfield were the governor had to send state law enforcement to escort kindergartners to school. Kamala Harris was the attorney general of the largest state and a border state in California. She's the only person in this race who prosecuted transnational gangs for human trafficking and drug interventions. But look, we all want to solve this. Most of us want to solve this, and that is the United States Congress. That's the Border Patrol agents. That's the Chamber of Commerce. That's most Americans out here. That's why we had the fairest and the toughest bill on immigration that this nation's seen. It was crafted by a conservative senator from Oklahoma, James Lankford. I know him. He's super conservative, but he's a man of principle, wants to get it done. Democrats and Republicans worked on this piece of legislation. The Border Patrol said, this is what we need in here. These are the experts. And the Chamber of Commerce and the Wall Street Journal said, pass this thing. Kamala Harris helped get there. 1,500 new border agents, detection for drugs, DOJ money to speed up these the adjudications on this, just what America wants. But as soon as I was getting ready to pass and actually tackle this, Donald Trump said no, told them to vote against it because it gives him a campaign issue. It gives him to, what would Donald Trump talk about if we actually did some of these things? And they need to be done by the legislature. You can't just do this through the executive branch. So look, we have the options to do this. Donald Trump had 4 years. He had 4 years to do this. And he promised you, America, how easy it would be. I'll build you a big, beautiful wall, and Mexico will pay for it. Less than 2% of that wall got built, and Mexico didn't pay a dime. But here we are again, 9 years after he came down that escalator, dehumanizing people and telling them what he was going to do. As far as the deportation plan, at one point, Senator Vance said it was so unworkable to be laughable. So that's where we're at. Pass the bill, she'll sign it.
Governor,
I mean, Tim Walz is completely right here, right? And this is a weird tactic that Trump and JD Vance did, right? So JD Vance lied about all this whole Haitian migrant issue so that we can supposedly talk more about immigration, right? Because Trump wanted this as an issue for the election cycle. But the problem is, by Trump blocking that bill, the Harris and Walz campaign will always be able to go back to that, and like there's no argument for that other than you purposely did it just for election purposes, right? It was a bipartisan bill. It's hard to argue that. I mean, this is amazing. Now let's get back to the clip and we'll go check out JD Vance. This is awesome, guys. You don't want to miss this. Let's get to it.
Governor, and just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status, temporary protected status.
Well, Margaret, but
thank you,
Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important because
we're going to turn out of the economy. Thank
Margaret,
you.
the rules were that you guys weren't going to fact check, and since you're fact checking me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on. So there's an application called the CBP One app, where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole, and be granted legal status at the wave of a Kamala Harris open border wand. That is not a person coming in, applying for a green card and waiting for 10 years. That is the facilitation of illegal immigration, Margaret, by our own
Thank you, Senator, for describing the legal process. We have so much to get to, Senator.
Those laws have been on the books since 1990.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The CBP One app has not been on the books since 1990. It's something that Kamala Harris created, Margaret.
Gentlemen, the audience can't hear you because your mics are cut. We have so much we want to get to. Thank you for explaining the legal process. Nora?
These guys, how humiliating is that? Hearing him in the background like that with his mic cut off. I mean, a part of me is glad this is going to be the issue of the election cycle, right? This is going to be the issue that Americans remember, that Republicans use nasty racist rhetoric once again to try to get Trump elected. And all these Republicans on the sidelines staying quiet or condoning this kind of rhetoric, it's going to be down ballot from here. They're going to lose the Senate seats. Hopefully they lose Senate seats and House seats because of this. And I just hope that they get a complete rejection of this nonsense and we can move on from this, because at the end of the day, of course, I'm on the left, and I would prefer to see left-leaning policies, but I also don't want half the country to be complete maniacs and completely racist and obviously vile people. And part of the reason this is happening is not so. It's easy to just blame Trump supporters for this, but these people are being lied to. A part of me feels sympathy for these people. A good amount of them are vile themselves, but a good amount are just being tricked and being scared into supporting one side and believing nasty things about the other side. It's pretty horrible, and it shows you how dangerous propaganda can really be, even in modern society. We're not above it yet. But I do want to show you this last clip. This to me was my favorite part of the night. Tim Wall hits JD Vance. This is another one. He cornered him, and it's just hard to Trump puts these people in really tough positions. Let's check that out.
Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
Guys, I mean, it does suck to lose elections. It really does. But what we can't have is people not believing things are fair. We cannot have this every cycle, right? Like, look what happened January 6th. Of course, if you thought your country was being overtaken, you want to attempt a coup. It's not illogical, right? It's a bit insane, but it's not illogical, right? And this is a big problem for Republicans, and they've constantly had to pay the price for this, right? The red wave was never the red wave because of this kind of crap. I mean, and this is how democracies die. We've seen it multiple times in history. Please, let's not let history repeat itself with us before it's too late. Please leave a comment below on your thoughts on this election and where you think Republican Party goes from here. I try to reply to all my comments, so I would really appreciate it if you leave your thoughts below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks.